Hare Krishna. So Prabhuji, born in North California, you say, and been raised in the place called San Diego, where Prabhuji is currently situated. His base is in San Diego. So from 16 years old, Prabhuji is practicing devotional service. Like then Prabhuji first he got introduced with Srila Prabhupada through books. When I was reading Prabhu's bio, I was reading from his website, and I was reading that he met with Srila Prabhupada. I said, Prabhuji is so young, he met with Srila Prabhupada. Then the next comes with the, in the form of Srila Prabhupada books. And which book it was? Perfection of Yoga. Very small and cute book, but just by reading that book, Prabhu was so enthused and so inspired that in just next year he went to the temple, and there's one devotee. I met with him, His Grace Radhanath Prabhu, and one of the temple devotee told that, can you kindly stay in the temple for just 3 months? You just try temple lifestyle. So that 3 month now extended to 18 years. Yeah. So since then, Prabhuji is staying in devotee association in San Diego and engaged in many services like book distribution. So Prabhuji has been engaged in mainly university preaching, distributing books in San Diego University. And Prabhuji is also now currently temple president of ISKCON San Diego. And also he's in the sannyas list. So we are today very fortunate to have with us the future sannyasi with us. Prabhuji travels throughout the whole world to give this message of Krishna consciousness. And sometimes Prabhu also comes to Sridham Mayapur, and we have very nice talks together, sharing, caring in Srimad Bhagavatam classes. So Prabhuji also authored one book, uh, Day by Day with Srila Prabhupada. And also Prabhuji published one journal, spiritual journal. So we are very grateful for Prabhuji kindly joining us. I mean, it's really devotees like just by small little fanning the spark. So this of course shows the previous life, this credit of Krishna consciousness. So we are so very fortunate to have with us His Grace Balaram Prabhuji. So we'd like to welcome His Grace Balaram Prabhu by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra loudly. All of you kindly unmute yourself, and I'll prompt all of you kindly unmute your video also. So off for the pleasure of the Prabhu, and please chant loudly Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Ram.
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Ramo, Ramo, Hare Hare. Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Over to you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Very nice to be here with all of you. We are all far away from each other, or at least I'm very far away from you, physically speaking. But yeah, still nice to be here with you. So yeah, today, or yeah, I guess it's in the evening for you. We could take a look at the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Divinity and Divine Service, and we'll take a look at text 16. So, Canto 1, Chapter 2, text 16. I'll just chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this is a very important verse. This is a very important verse in the second chapter. Srila Prabhupada spoke on this verse a number of times. So yeah, we could take a look at this.
Prabhuji, if you like to share, you can share, or if you wish, I could share also. this
Yeah, sure.
particular?
You could share. All right, here's the verse. Shusho Shudadanasya Vasudeva Kataruchihi Syan Mahatsevya Vipra Punyatirtha Nashevanat. All right, so I'll read the word by word. Shusho, one who's engaged in hearing, Shudadanasya, with care and attention. Vasudeva, in respect to Vasudev. Kata, the message. Ruchihi, affinity. So affinity also means attraction. Syat is made possible. Mahat sevaya, by service rendered to pure devotees. Vipraha, O twice born. Punyatirtha, those who are cleansed of all vice. Nishevanat, by service. So translation, by His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, in purport. O twice born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from vice, great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity for hearing the messages of Vasudeva. Purport. The conditioned life of a living being is caused by his revolting against the Lord. There are men called Deva, or godly living beings, and there are men called Asuras, or demons, who are against the authority of the Supreme Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, 16th chapter, a vivid description of the Asuras is given, in which it is said that the Asuras are put into lower and lower states of ignorance, life after life, and so sink to the lower animal forms and have no information of the absolute truth, the personality of Godhead. These Asuras are gradually rectified to God consciousness by the mercy of the Lord's liberated servitors in different countries according to the supreme will. Such devotees of God are very confidential associates of the Lord, and when they come to save human society from the dangers of godlessness, they are known as the powerful incarnations of the Lord, as sons of the Lord, as servants of the Lord, or as associates of the Lord. But none of them falsely claim to be God themselves. This is a blasphemy declared by the Asuras, and the demoniac followers of such Asuras also accept pretenders as God or his incarnation. In the revealed scriptures, there's definite information of the incarnation of God. No one should be accepted as God or an incarnation of God unless he is confirmed by the revealed scriptures. The servants of God are to be respected as God by the devotees who actually want to go back to Godhead. Such servants of God are called Mahatmas or Tirthas, and they preach according to particular time and place. The servants of God urge people to become devotees of the Lord. They never tolerate being called God. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was God himself according to the indication of the revealed scriptures, but he played the part of a devotee. People who knew him to be God addressed him as God, but he used to block his ears with his hands and chant the name of Lord Vishnu. He strongly protested against being called God, although undoubtedly he was God himself. The Lord behaved so to warn us against unscrupulous men who take pleasure in being addressed as God. The servants of God come to propagate God consciousness, and intelligent people should cooperate with them in every respect. By serving the servant of God, one can please God more than by directly serving the Lord. The Lord is more pleased when he sees that his servants are properly respected, because such servants risk everything for the service of the Lord, and so are very dear to the Lord. The Lord declares in the Bhagavad Gita 1869, that no one is dearer to him than one who risks everything to preach his glories. This is important. I mean, it's all important, but this next line here. By serving the servants of the Lord, one gradually gets the quality of such servants, and thus one becomes qualified to hear the glories of God. The eagerness to hear about God is the first qualification of a devotee eligible for entering the kingdom of God. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unnalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Katitavachalam Pangam Langai Girim Yakripatam Ham Vande Shri Gurundiritanam Vansha Kapadubhischa Kripa Sandubhevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. All right, I'll just read the translation. I have it here. You don't have to put it on the screen. O twice born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from vice, great service is done. All right, we'll wait till you. Okay. O twice born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from vice, great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity for hearing the messages of Vasudeva. So the most important principle in devotional service is the association of devotees. Of course, we hear that there's the 5 most potent forms of devotional service: to chant the holy name, to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam, to reside in a holy place, to worship the deity, and to what was the last one? Which one am I missing? To worship the deity, to chant the holy name, to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam, to associate with devotees, and to reside in a holy place. So these are the 5 most potent forms of devotional service. But we see that really these forms of devotional service, they become powerful, they become alive in the association of devotees. For example, Sanatana Goswami says that we should not hear Krishna Katha from the lips of non-devotees. It has a poisonous effect. So hearing kirtan from non-devotees, hearing Bhagavatam from non-devotees. So even though the principles of devotional service are there, the Bhagavatam, the holy name, if it's heard from the wrong person, it has the opposite effect. So from this, we can see the importance of associating with devotees. It's extremely important. And if you analyze, if all of us here analyze our lives, I mean, maybe some of you were born into the family of devotees, which is very fortunate. But I would think that some of you weren't born into the family of Krishna devotees or Chaitanya devotees. But at one particular point, we came in contact. We received one of Srila Prabhupada's books, and we associated with devotees, and they helped us, and they are now still helping us. They're training us in devotional service, our Shiksha gurus, our mentors, and so on. So we should always remember that it is our main business to take shelter of devotees. In illusion, in pride, we feel that, oh, I don't need help. I don't need the association of devotees. I could do it myself. I'm intelligent. I'm devotional. I could figure it out myself. But yeah, we really do need the devotees' help. And this particular verse here is highlighting that. that if we want to be successful in Krishna consciousness, we need to serve the devotees. Of course, Rupa Goswami, he says, Dadati, Pritigrinati, Guya Maikati Prichati, Bhunkte Bojayate Chaiva Shadvidham Priti Lakshanam. So Priti Lakshanam, these loving exchanges, inquiring confidentially, asking questions, instructing. Srila Prabhupada writes that a junior devotee or will approach a more senior devotee, and there'll be a question and answer, a question and answer process or session. There's giving gifts, accepting gifts, giving prasadam, accepting prasadam. These are the 6 loving exchanges. So these are ways in which we could serve devotees. There's many ways we could serve devotees. But this particular verse is really highlighting that if we want to be successful, we need to serve the devotees. And specifically, it says here we should serve devotees. We should serve all devotees, but there's a special emphasis on serving devotees who are completely free from vice. In other words, they're freed from Maya, freed from illusion. They're advanced devotees. Rupa Goswami advises like that we should always seek out the association of more advanced devotees. And by that service, what happens? We obtain something. So it's not that if we serve, we do not get anything. We do get something, and it's a very important thing we get, the most important thing, really. And that is we obtain an attraction, an affinity for hearing the message of the Bhagavatam, for hearing the messages of Vasudeva. We get that attraction. That's really the greatest achievement one can have, that attraction to Bhagavatam, that attraction to Krishna. And this comes by serving devotees. And the opposite comes by offending devotees. On one hand, we serve the devotees and we get this great taste for Bhagavatam, for Krishna Katha, for Krishna's holy name. We fall in love with the Bhagavatam, in other words, by serving the devotees. But then by offending the devotees, the opposite happens. And you have this in the case of, there's many cases, but one case in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, you have Madhavendra Puri, and you have his 2 disciples, Ishvara Puri and Ramchandra Puri. And Madhavendra Puri was there in his last days, getting ready to leave this world, and he was lamenting. He was lamenting that I have not obtained Krishna, the Lord of my life. And his disciple Ramchandra Puri was there, and he instructed his guru. Ramchandra Puri instructed Madhavendra Puri, and he said, Gurudev, how is it that you are lamenting? In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that one should not lament. Brahmabhuta prasanatma nashochati nakankshati. One who has realized they do not lament. So how is it that you're lamenting? And then he said, further, he said, just focus on Brahman. So Madhavendra Puri, when he heard this, he was extremely angry. And he said to him, he said, get out, you sinful rascal. And he said, if I die seeing your face, I don't know what my destination will be. And in this way, he was denounced by his guru. But on the other hand, you had Ishvara Puri. Ishvara Puri was very humbly serving his guru. He was reciting Krishna Katha, Bhagavatam, so many wonderful Krishna Katha. He was serving him menial service. It said he was cleaning up his stool and urine. Very humble service. And from that, Ishvara Puri became like an ocean of love of God. And he was so qualified that he accepted that he was even the spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Whereas Ramachandra Puri, he became, it says, material desire entered his heart. He became a dry speculator and he became a critic of everyone, of all Vaishnavas. When Ramachandra Puri went to Jagannath Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very submissive with him, very respectful to him. He was his spiritual master's godbrother. So it says that one should respect the spiritual master as one respects one should respect the spiritual master's godbrothers just as one would respect one's spiritual master. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very respectful to Ramchandra Puri. For Ramchandra Puri, he was so offensive that there were not any, even if there weren't any apparent faults in the devotees, he would create a situation in which he could criticize them. So he would invite the devotees for prasadam. He would sit them down and then he would feed them prasadam and keep on feeding them prasadam, keep on feeding them prasadam. And then at the end, he would criticize them and he would say, just see, I heard that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's followers eat too much, and now I've seen it with my own eyes. He would criticize them like that. And even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went to his dwelling, and Ramchandra Puri saw some ants there. And then he pointed to the ants, and he said, he was criticizing Lord Chaitanya, and he was saying, this must mean that you're keeping sweets here. Why else would there be ants? So in this way, he became a real critic. And this was due to his offense to his spiritual master. So in other words, if we offend the devotees, we offend our spiritual master, we offend other devotees, then those material desires enter our heart and we lose our taste. But if we serve the devotees, then all success is there. And when we talk about serving devotees, the devotees are said to be Mahatmas, great souls. Mahatmanas tumam parta daivim prakritim ashuta. The Mahatmas have taken shelter of the divine nature, divine, Prakriti. So Srila Prabhupada, when he was in India, specifically after he came to America and distributed Krishna consciousness throughout the world, he returned to India to establish his mission there. And he was invited to speak at Birla, one of the Birla, the family. At that time, they're one of the most wealthiest families in India. And Srila Prabhupada, he said that about their wealth, he said that no one could measure their wealth. They're very wealthy. So Srila Prabhupada was, so Mrs. Birla, she was given a list of different topics that Srila Prabhupada could speak on. And one of the topics was how to be successful. So she picked that topic, how to be successful. So when Srila Prabhupada went to their house, he gave a talk on how to be successful, and he quoted this verse from Bhagavad Gita, Mahatmanas tumam parta daivim prakritimashita, that the great souls, they take shelter of this divine energy. And he went on to explain that this Daivi Prakriti, it's actually personified as Srimati Radharani. In that way, Srimati Radharani is there in the Bhagavad Gita, hidden. And he went on to explain that in the material world, people are under the control of Maya or of Durga or the material energy. And she's there with her trident. She's jabbing the living entities. There's three prongs. Sufferings caused by one's body and mind, by other living entities, by natural disturbances. So she's jabbing the living entities. They're suffering in this way. So he explained that success in life is to transfer oneself from the control of Maya, the control of material energy, to the control of Daivi Prakriti, or Srimati Radharani, which means to engage in devotional service. And again, the way that we're able to the way that we're able to transfer ourselves from Maya to the spiritual energy, or Srimati Radharani, the control of Srimati Radharani, is to serve the devotees, to hear from them. And these servants of Krishna, the servants of God, servants of Krishna, are very dear to Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada mentions that especially those who are preaching the glories of Krishna. And this is the real mission of the Hare Krishna movement. Of course, there's two missions. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he demonstrated there's the internal mission of relishing Krishna consciousness, and then there's the external mission of giving Krishna consciousness. So there within India, so many people have come in contact with the Hare Krishna movement. But as you all know, it's a very big country. There's a lot of people there. And although so many people come in contact with Krishna consciousness, there's so many people who are still needing Krishna consciousness. And there's still more people taking birth every day. So there's an unlimited opportunity to serve in this way. And this is another thing that we serve Srila Prabhupada, for example, and his followers by assisting them in their mission. So some of you are initiated here. I could see that. And some of you are not initiated. But whether we're initiated or not initiated, hopefully those who are not initiated are moving towards that point of initiation. But whether we're initiated or not, we should understand that there's a great mission, and we should try to assist our guru in that mission. And this is another way that taste develops. Shushu sho shadadana se vasudeva kata ruchihi. Syan mahat seva vipra punya tirtana shevanat. By serving the great souls who are completely free from vice, great service is done, and one gains a taste for hearing the messages of Krishna. So if we want that taste, one way to get that is to serve the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to assist our gurus in that mission. In the service, the service is unlimited. We could we can really apply ourselves completely to that. So yeah, those who do that are very dear, and those who help assist in that way, they also become very dear, and they also can become like this, great dear servants of Krishna. And that's what we really want. We want to be recognized by Krishna. As Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would say, do not try to see Krishna, but act in such a way as Krishna will want to see you. Um, and then Srila Prabhupada ends the purport. He says that by serving the servants of the Lord, one gradually gets the quality of such servants. So whoever we associate with, we are going to get their qualities. So we have to be very careful who we associate with. And thus one becomes qualified to hear the glories of the Lord. So if we serve Srila Prabhupada, if we serve his dear servants, if we serve the devotees, we will get the qualities of those servants. And the main quality is that affinity, that attraction to hearing the message of the Bhagavatam. So this is how we're able to fall in love with the Bhagavatam, by this process. All right. Does anybody have any question or comment? Anything you'd like to say? What about Ishtadev Gopal?
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Audible?
Oops.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Thank you for your wonderful class. I had a question really so in Krishna consciousness, so we have been practicing for a few years, and sometimes it seems like many of the topics or the shlokas we have heard previously also. So the mind actually tricks us by saying, okay, I have heard previously this. So it creates a blockade actually, like again the same thing is going to be repeated. So, and because most of the past times we keep on hearing like that. So how to remove that blockade and how to get absorbed in, how to feel ever fresh in hearing Krishna Katha?
Yeah. Well, thank you for your question. We are very much into repetition. We like repetition. Repetition of a good thing is good. Actually, if you analyze what people are doing in their life, it's a lot of repetition. Sometimes they say eat, sleep, work, entertainment, cycle. Just over and over again, same thing. And more or less, it's the same thing. I mean, you could make, I mean, it's the same. I mean, there's a little variety, but you got rice, you got dal, you got sabji. There's some varieties, but a lot of similarity. So yeah, we're into repetition. I mean, we are chanting Hare Krishna every day. That's a lot of repetition. I mean, we tell people, yes, new people, we tell them, yes, I chant 2 hours every day, and they're like, wow, 2 hours every day, that's quite a lot. How can you say the same few words, 2 hours every day? And actually, we're doing more than that. We're having kirtan, 30 minutes, an hour of kirtan. So we're chanting quite a lot. But as Srila Prabhupada would say, this is a spiritual sound vibration. It is not an ordinary vibration. If I was to say, if you pick any other name, you say Mr. John, Mr. John, Mr. John, Mr. John. I mean, we're going to become sick of that very quickly. But so that's there. We could understand how it's a spiritual sound vibration, and therefore it shouldn't become we shouldn't become sick of hearing it. But sometimes, due to illusion or due to offenses or something like that, then we may become tired of hearing this. Oh, I've heard this before, the Hare Krishna mantra, or I've heard this shloka before, these verses before. But the more we are able to Cheto Darpana Marjanam, purify our heart, the more relishable these things become. Uh, and we should understand that it's not going to be, of course, Srila Prabhupada said we could become Krishna conscious in one moment, just quickly. But generally, it takes a little time. And therefore, we need to be patient, right? Utsaha nishchaya dharya tat tat karma pavartana. We have to be patient. It's not that the taste is automatically going to come. We have to really work for it, actually. We have to work hard, very hard. And if it's not coming, then we should take it that it is our own fault. It is our own offenses that we're not having this taste. And thinking in this way, it's actually good for us. We become more humble. We think, I'm such an offender. I'm so fallen that I have no taste, and Krishna's not blessing me like this. And then that purifies the heart further, actually, these thoughts. We become, we're longing for Krishna in this way. So just like in the Mahaprakash of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was revealing his godhood, Mukunda wasn't allowed to see him because he used to mix with different crowds, and Mahaprabhu didn't like that. So he told him yes, and I believe it was 1 million births. He said he'll have my darshan. Mukunda started dancing in ecstasy, and he was saying, "Yes, I will have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's darshan in 1 million births." And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he heard of this and his attitude, and he really appreciated it. And then he brought him in immediately, and he gave him his darshan. So, as Srila Prabhupada writes in the Nectar of Instruction, that advancement of the practitioner, the attitude of the practitioner determines the advancement they make. So it's about having the right attitude. So yeah, we should think like that, that yeah, I'm so fallen, I'm so yeah, I'm so fallen that I have no taste. And I really wish I did. And then, we should work hard to get that taste. So first of all, we should try to understand through our intelligence that Krishna Katha is all glorious, it's all blissful, it's all wonderful. And if I'm not experiencing that, then I need to do something. I need to change something. I need to change my attitude. I need to serve devotees more. I need to be more humble or whatever it is. So lastly, in relation to your question, there's anyway, some of the things I was saying earlier about that mood and thinking I'm so fallen and how this will purify the heart. This is actually coming from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his commentary on the Rasa Leela. Because Krishna left the gopis, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he comments in this way that he's relating it to sadhakas or spiritual practitioners who are not liberated yet, that if they develop this mood that I'm so sinful, I'm so fallen, Krishna has not given me his mercy, and this way they become humble, it purifies their heart from lust, from greed, all of these things. But anyways, and just one last thing in relation to your question. There were two sannyasis, ISKCON sannyasis, Prabhupada disciples, and one of them, during Kartik, he would do a lot of chanting. Practically, he would just chant and hear all day and all night, eat very little, sleep very little. And he was there in Govardhan. So this other sannyasi wanted to meet with him, so they met and they had a conversation. And in the conversation, this point was brought up, that Rupa Goswami's point that one should associate with more advanced devotees. So they were discussing this, and of course, there's different ways of seeing this, but in this discussion, they were seeing it from this angle of vision, which I thought was very nice and helpful. They were thinking that they both had the same record. In other words, they were both initiated around the same time. They both were gurus. They both had the same track record of devotional service. So how are they to get that more advanced association? Because in many ways you could see that they're equals. But they went on to explain that they both were seeing each other as more advanced. They were thinking each other were more advanced. And in that way, they were getting that advanced association. And this is really the mood of a Vaishnava. They think others are advanced, and in this way they get that association. That's one way of seeing it. But anyways, this devotee who was spending a lot of time chanting and hearing in Govardhan, he said that when he was chanting on his beads, he said that he felt that he was knocking on the door of the holy name, or of, knocking on the door. And he said he wasn't feeling any mercy. He wasn't getting any special mercy. And he was having a hard time, in a sense. So then he thought to himself, okay, let me do humble service. So what he would do is he would wake up very early in the morning. And he said he would wake up early in the morning so no one could see him. Because if they saw him doing this humble service, they would say, oh, Maharaj, you're such a great devotee, and so on. They would praise him. So he would just get up and he would sweep around Radha Kund. He would clean around Radha Kund. And he said gradually the taste awakened within him. So, we should understand with our intelligence that Krishna Katha is all blissful, all wonderful. And if we're not experiencing that, we should take it as our own fault, and we should try to do something to rectify that. And we should simultaneously be patient and understand that the solution for that is humble service, patience, and so on. And gradually it will manifest more, just like the rising of the sun. It's a gradual process. So I hope that satisfies you to some degree.
Yes. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Any other question, comment?
Devotees, you could write in the chat box also if you have some question and you cannot speak. Better, you can unmute yourself and speak directly to Prabhu and you can ask question.
Where is everyone located mostly? Are they in Mayapur and then the outskirts of Mayapur?
Some devotees are in Mayapur, Prabhuji, and some devotees are on outskirt of Mayapur, and some devotees are spread throughout the whole Bharatvarsh.
Oh, okay.
So different geographical locations there.
Anyone's in Kolkata? No.
This one devotee, Kausik Nath Prabhu, is there from near Kolkata, Kalyani. It's almost Kolkata.
Okay.
Some more devotees.
What about how do you say your name? Shankaraj. You have anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I'm from Kolkata, but I am currently working in Vizag,
Okay.
Visakhapatnam.
Oh, okay. Visakhapatnam. All right, nice. Do you have any question or anything you'd like to say?
I think
Shankaraj?
one more. Yes.
No, Prabhu. I just listened. I attended little late because I was coming from my office, so
Oh,
I attended little late. So please
okay.
pardon me for that.
No, that's fine. Better late than never, right? Ishtadev Gopal? Okay.
Thanks. Roji, like, I wanted to ask, like, actually, by nature, I was very passionate by nature, actually. So I like to do some physical activities. Before coming to Krishna consciousness also, I was
You
very
look
much
very
thinking.
you look very humble by nature.
So actually, I was doing a lot of sports and all before coming to Krishna consciousness. And after coming, I got a went like through book distribution and Harinam Sankirtan because that involves physical act. So my question was that like will engaging in book distribution and Harinam Sankirtan regularly will that help me to bring down my passion and my like the mind is very fickle means I cannot concentrate for a long time on one thing. So
Yeah.
will that help me or and what else can help me to bring down my passionate nature?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, definitely chanting and dancing and kirtan that will help us. And book distribution, you have to be very active in that. I mean, sometimes people they may manage something or they may manage a group or there's so many different projects one can engage in to help you could say use one's energy properly. Srila Prabhupada would take japa walks and they're quite fast. Srila Prabhupada would walk very fast. Devotees who were like half his age, I mean, even more, they're in their 20s and they were healthy people. They would have a hard time keeping up with Srila Prabhupada. I remember I walked with one disciple of Srila Prabhupada, Brigupati Prabhu. He's there in Los Angeles, been distributing books for many years. And he was in his 70s at the time. I mean, he's still, this was maybe, I don't know, 5 years ago or something like that. But he walked so fast. And I'm healthy, physically I'm healthy and I could also, I have energy, I can move fast. But I was having a hard time keeping up with Brigupati Prabhu. So that's also there. You could chant, you could dance, you can distribute books, you can maybe manage something or help assist a manager or engage in some projects that take a lot of mental energy and physical energy. And also there's japa walks are there. Try to exert energy in that way. But yeah, main thing is to try to keep busy. I mean, preaching is a wonderful way actually to if you have some we have some passion or some energy, it's a wonderful way. Like if you give classes or if you speak with a lot of people, that takes up a lot of energy actually. So that's another thing we could do. Where are you located, Ishtadev Prabhu? Gopal Prabhu?
I am located outskirts of Mayapur.
Oh, okay. Like how far from Mayapur? An hour?
It's by bus. It will take around 5 hours.
Oh, 5 hours. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I'm sure there's so many people, where you are all over who need Krishna, so you could try to give them Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I am Dandrat Pranam. Thank you very much for your class. I have a question. Can I ask?
Yes, sure.
Yes. Prabhu, my question is that sometimes I see that we there are devotees who are advancing, who are more advanced than us, and in and that's why we have sometimes this tinge amount of what we call that irsha, or so how can jealousy, since we have this kind, I have this kind of sometimes I have this kind of jealousy that he's advancing what I am doing. I'm not advancing like him. So how can I cope up with this problem?
Yeah. Yeah. We may think that, yes, this person's advancing and I'm not advancing, so there's some envy or some jealousy or some feelings of, like that. So what to do about that? One disciple of Srila Prabhupada brought this up to him, and he said that we shouldn't have these feelings towards devotees, because in a sense they're like bad feelings. And depending on how much they increase, it could become really, really like bad and unpleasant. So he said we shouldn't really have these feelings towards devotees. But we should understand that Krishna is unlimited, and in other words, if somebody's distributing a lot of books, it's not that means that we can't please Krishna. We could also please Krishna. Maybe we can't distribute as many books as them, but we could please Krishna another way. It's in a sense, it's easy to please Krishna because it's simple. He just wants our devotion. Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhakta prachati. So we don't have to feel envious like, oh, that person, they're pleasing Krishna and now I can't please Krishna. But we can also please Krishna. And to please Krishna, you don't necessarily have to do something like earth-shatteringly amazing. You don't have to distribute 1 million books to please Krishna. I mean, that does please Krishna. It's good if you could do it. But on the other hand, if we just serve Krishna in any way we can, really, he's pleased. If we chant Krishna's name purely, he's pleased. You could just sit there and chant purely Krishna's name, and he'll be pleased. So we don't have to feel envy towards, oh, that person, he's advancing, and what about me, and like my relationship with Krishna. And so Krishna is unlimited in that sense. And still, if we're feeling that envy after intellectually understanding this, we should understand it just to be a bad quality that's in our heart that needs to be purified through the chanting of Krishna's holy name. We could pray like that too. Please purify me of this envy. But if you think about it, envy is like the other side. Like if you look at it like a coin, there's envy on one side. You feel jealous of someone, and then the other side there's appreciation. So appreciation just means you are appreciating what they're doing in a good sense. Envy means you're recognizing what they're doing in a good sense, but you're a little upset about it. You're saying, oh, I want to do that. So we should just try to direct that in like an appreciation sense. We should think, wow, they're doing wonderful, they're doing great. I'm happy that they're doing that. I wish I could do that. And then even if we can't, we could please Krishna another way. So there's yeah. So those are some thoughts. I hope that helps to some degree.
Yeah. Okay, bro. Understood, bro. Thank you, bro. Thanks a lot. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Okay. Yes.
Hare Krishna, bro. So I have a question related to like book distribution actually. We see that Bhagavad Gita is being widely distributed. And like that, Srimad Bhagavatam is also distributed. But it's not like Bhagavad Gita is distributed so like easily. That Bhagavatam is not distributed so very easily to the common masses actually. So how that can be done actually?
Oh, distributing like a full set of Bhagavatam?
Yes, Prabhu.
Well, yeah, Bhagavad Gita is there. We can distribute Bhagavad Gitas to people. Then there's the Bhagavatam sets. One thing about distributing Bhagavatam sets is that, like Vaisheshika Prabhu says, he says that you can't distribute books that you don't have. In other words, the books have to be there. They have to be available. So if you're on the streets, if you have a book table, or if you are distributing books outside of the temple, for example, at a festival day, just to have the Bhagavatams there, to have the set there. And just to ask people, just to really, in a sense, like they say it's like shameless, you just shamelessly ask people. You're not shy about it. You just say, we have the Bhagavatams here. This is the whole set. Srila Prabhupada said that he wanted every gentleman and lady to have one of these sets in their homes. Our teacher, Srila Prabhupada, he worked very hard. He was rising early every morning to give us these books. And you seem like a very intelligent person, a very nice person. And it is our desire that you have these books. So please take them. And so just to ask, really, just to have the books there and just to ask and not be shy about it. We shouldn't be shy about it. We should just ask freely, as many people as possible. And we'd be surprised who takes it. Someone will say, yeah, sure, I don't have that book, and I will take that book. I'll take those books. So I've distributed a number of sets throughout the years, and just a huge part of the success of me distributing those sets was just to ask people freely, anyone and everyone, and not have any particular like preconceived idea that, oh, that person won't take it or that person will take it. We just ask freely. Just like Nityananda Prabhu. He's distributing the mercy freely. He's not thinking, is this person qualified? Is this person not qualified? He's just going to everyone. Please take Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. So yeah. And as Srila Prabhupada would say, we sell the books on the strength of the books. In other words, if we glorify the books, we explain what's in the different cantos, how wonderful it is, then people will take it. Another thing is that Srila Prabhupada was asked by devotees, how do we increase our book distribution? And Srila Prabhupada said that if you sit down in one place and you start chanting your rounds from beginning to end, all of the rounds all at once in a very concentrated way, this will help increase book distribution. Because if we do that, we sit down, we focus all the rounds all at once. I know it's difficult to do sometimes, but this is what Srila Prabhupada said. If we do that, then that will help us on book distribution. We'll have that enthusiasm. Also reading. If we read Srila Prabhupada's books regularly, that will give us the inspiration to distribute them. There's the book Bhagavat, and then there's the person Bhagavat. So if we associate with them, then we'll have that enthusiasm. So yeah, I think if you just try more and more and pray to Krishna, he'll give you all intelligence. Is that okay?
Yes.
Neeraj Prabhu has one question. Neeraj Prabhu, he has put in the chat box. Prabhuji, sometimes we don't feel to be grateful to devotees. We lived with them and do offenses. And you mentioned that by that we don't have the attraction to Bhagavatam. That can relate. Then Prabhu, what to do? Like we unable ask forgiveness to them due to our false ego. So many questions coupled.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, if we live with devotees, we may commit offenses. That's true. We're living in a ashram, or we're living in a some type of group like that. It's a little dangerous. I mean, the conclusion shouldn't be that let me not live with devotees. The conclusion should be I should be very careful. And as Srila Prabhupada would say, in the morning we offer obeisances to the devotees, Vancha Kalpadurubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhyevacha, Patinanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So in this way, it's a time where we're asking devotees, please forgive me if I've committed any offenses. Now, one devotee told Srila Prabhupada that, well, Srila Prabhupada, if I had to bow down and say that prayer to every time I committed offenses to devotees, I would be doing that all day long. I'd be walking around Vanchakalpadurubhyascha, bowing down to all the devotees. So Srila Prabhupada would say, no, I mean, in a general sense, we do that in the morning. But if it's something severe or more escalated, then we need to humble ourselves. We should go to that devotee and please forgive me. And we should also serve that devotee sincerely. And if we can't do that, if our false ego is not allowing us to do that, that's unfortunate. And Krishna might have to teach us another way. We might have to suffer, another way. So we should pray for that intelligence. We should pray for that freedom from false ego, that we're able to approach devotees and ask for forgiveness. But yeah, if we don't have that, then yeah, it's very dangerous. So we should try to understand intellectually and then try to purify ourselves so that we are above that tendency to commit offenses. So there's another question here. How do we know who is freed from vice? This is from Amit. Good question. In the Nectar Devotion, there's 9 symptoms of somebody on bhava, on the level of bhava. They do not waste time. They have a great taste for hearing the holy name. They are humble, and so on. Like that, you have different lists. You have the 26 qualities of devotees. So, for example, says that one who's advanced, they don't use their tongue to criticize others. I mean, for the purpose of teaching, sometimes a teacher may do that, but not for their own purposes, for teaching only. So if someone's free from that desire to criticize, we should understand that that's a quality that is an advanced quality. So in this way, we can get a sense of who is free from vice by their qualities, really. Yeah. Now this Bhavishya Malika predictions, are you talking about like Bhavishya Purana?
you may ignore this project. I mean, this is not maybe so relevant with today's topic. We
Yeah,
can
that's
go to
true.
another question from Kaushik Nath Prabhu. How is it possible to reside in Holy Dham while staying uh, as a daily student? I mean, he's a student, so you want to have the experience of residing in Dham also at the same time.
Well, I guess it depends on your situation. I mean, it's always good that as far as possible, every man should stay sometime in an ashram and do a bhakti program or some type of brahmachari program as far as possible. But if you can't do that, then I guess you could live in the Dham and I don't know, work from home or something like that. But there's different ways of doing it. Ultimately, it's about the consciousness. Um, so we have to develop the Dham consciousness. Think about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, think about Krishna, think about the devotees. So yeah, whatever your situation is, we just have to develop that consciousness. In terms of details, you might want to speak with your Shiksha gurus or your mentors and so on. They could help you with some practical things. But we should always remember that it's about the consciousness, Dham consciousness. So, all right.
Hare Krishna. So we are winding up this question and answer session round. So now we have reached till the end of today's session, and we had very good time, great time with His Grace Balaram Prabhuji. Specifically, I like one point of Prabhuji that Prabhuji discussed. So taking shelter of Devi Shakti is taking shelter of Srimati Radharani, and that translates into taking the cause of serving devotees. That's really touched me. That we can get the mercy of Srimati Radharani by serving the devotees only. So I would like to work upon you, Prabhuji. So thank you so much for your wonderful time and so much of valuable time you took out from your schedule for all of us. So we are very grateful to you, Prabhuji. I would like to express our gratefulness to His Grace Balaram Prabhu by unmuting ourselves and opening up your videos. Kindly chant loudly Hare Krishna Mantra. Loudly. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
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 Hare.
Hare.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Yes, thank you to Nitai Chanjanimai Prabhu, Rasamai Nityananda Prabhu, and to all the devotees here. Very nice to spend some time with you, and I hope I see all of you in Mayapur sometime soon.
Prabhuji.
Maybe next spring, I guess in about a year, April or something like that. Or no, not April, March.
Yeah. In God Punya Festival, we'll have this opportunity to have your physical association too.
Yes,
We
it'll
hope
be
and pray.
nice to see all of you there in the holy Mayapur.
Thank you
Okay,
so much.
Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Yeah.
Krishna.